Hi, I'm Sebastian, and I'm one of the founders of Aquaty. And one number is driving us. And this is $35 trillion, and that's the amount of capital which is going to be invested in private capital markets over the next 7 years. And I'm talking unlisted companies, real estate, infrastructure, even art. But the problem with this is that all of these transactions today are paper-based. If you ever bought some kind of real estate, maybe an apartment or a house, you might realize this, that 16% is lost in transaction costs, not into the actual asset. But if you ever bought a stock online in an app like Trade Republic, it goes with one click. And the reason for this is because there was an electronic exchange invented in the 1970s called the NASDAQ. And it made it super efficient. And we as Aquaty, we are enabling the NASDAQ moment for private markets. So the question is how we are doing this. And the basis for every efficient market is standardization, in this case, securities. So we are turning every private market asset or fund into a security, therefore enabling scale in distribution, compliance, liquidity, and scale. And also citing one of our senior advisors who has been running the Swiss exchange for the better part of the last decade, is that the future of private markets lies in the creation of securities. So how do we create them? We've basically built a machine or software which does this. And integrated in there is artificial intelligence for the structuring part, also blockchain for the issuance part, also traditional custody, maybe in the future even quantum computing. And for this machine, of course, there needs to be a team who is running it. And this is my founding team. So myself, I'm a computer scientist. I've built my first company in 2015 and got acquired in 2018. Was investing afterwards and got frustrated with the processes. Robert, my co-founder, he worked here in Switzerland for the last 7 years in regulatory audit. And my co-founder, Alex, he has built one of the biggest European insurtechs, Get Safe, and scaled it from 5 to 300 people, also raising 120 million along the way. So when we launched our product 12 months ago, we are selling mainly to issuers, like institutions bringing new assets into the market. So we close big issuers like the LBBW, also smaller issuers, and currently we are growing with an 80% rate quarter over quarter and achieved $500,000 in revenue. And also very famous like assets like SpaceX and OpenAI run through our system. Now the question is, why does this all matter? We see a huge vacuum in the established financial industry. At the top, we have asset and wealth managers. At the bottom, we have established financial market infrastructure. But there's no standard way for private market assets. And this is where we are growing in. So we established Aquaty as a private markets adapter for the established industry. And therefore, also looking at our equity story, this is where we are tapping in. So we were very fortunate to onboard Tenity onto this journey to grow more institutional. Also, we convinced some of the leading minds in the industry, for example, Jörg Pietzner, who's the former head of M&A of the German Stock Exchange, as angel investors. And we will raise a 5 million round in the second part of the year to grow further. So if you think, hey, I'm an angel investor and should belong here, or I'm an institutional investor and I want to join this journey, please talk to us. We are out there here afterwards. And happy to talk.